Hello everybody, welcome back to the conversation series. This is episode 2. I have a very good friend of mine, Caroline Sabatini, with us today. And we are going in a different direction than we did the first episode. We're going in a hair direction.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to let Caroline give her spiel of who she is and what she does real quickly.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Caroline. I was in the same high school with Danielle, and we were essentially supposed to be graduating the same time, but then I figured out that I figured out that I did not want to be in school for another 4 years after high school.
Yeah.
And so I graduated early and went on to hair school, and then graduated hair school early. I was just ready to get down to it.
I was getting ready to be done.
Yeah. So after I graduated hair school, I went into a salon, and I've been there for 4 years now, which is wild.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do hair behind the chair every day, and I also have a Instagram that I'm trying to build up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's, the crazy part is that you were on almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In like one of my first videos, and I went back and I looked, and it was like November of 2018. I was like, the fact that is almost 2 years old is really crazy to me.
Yeah.
You do have some specialties you do.
Yes. My favorite thing ever, and what I will always consistently try to work on, is hair cutting.
Yeah.
There's always going to be new trends and new styles, and to be a great stylist, you have to keep up with those trends. And cutting is one of my passions. It's such an easy change that you don't have to do something crazy, and your hair grows back. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I also love to color hair as well, and make people just feel their best.
Yeah. And you like to do balayage.
Yes, I do.
So Haley's, and you know, my sister Caroline has done my sister's hair, and so Haley is like, I want to do a balayage, and I'm like, oh God, help me. And you do work at Salon Blue in Falls Village.
Yep.
They have 2 other locations besides that as well, right?
Yep, there's one here in North Hills, and then one at Briar Creek as well.
Okay, and you're just at the Falls Village. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Your specialties, what made you go into those? Like, why those specialties?
When I was in hair school, I figured out that I really understood cutting specifically. Like, it just came natural to me. I think it also in high school and in school in general, I was really good at math and angular and thinking like logically. And so hair cutting is kind of on that same path, if that makes sense. It's very mathematical and not, I mean, I won't say not as creative, but it's like, it's do this and you get this result, and there's not a whole lot of leeway with it, and so you get a specific result when you do a specific thing. So it always clicked really well with me. But then on the flip side of that, balayage is like the exact opposite. It's like I can visually see where I want this color to go, and I can put it and be very creative with it and kind of figure it out as I go.
I think hair cutting is like it's super creative. Like you can do so many different things. Has there ever been a time when someone, and I'm sure there has been, when someone has come in and asked you something and you're like, are you sure about that?
I'm like, you really want a mullet? I know you didn't tell me specifically mullet, but you described it, and I really don't want to give that to you. I don't want to have my name on that.
Right. So you've had several of those.
Oh yeah. Or where I'm like, okay, well, here's what you like about this specific thing. Here's how we can translate it and make it modern and
oh my gosh. And not a mullet.
Or at least a cute one and style it well. But there's so many times where people come in thinking and saying that they want one thing, and I'm like, no. Not doing that.
You talk about hair school. Where did you go to hair school?
I went to hair school at Paul Mitchell.
Okay.
They have a whole bunch of different schools across the country. And it was their learning and design and everything is very it's well thought out and well planned, and they follow a specific guideline and how to keep you creative while also telling you the basics and getting you to a point where you can go and take your state board test, but also not getting so hunkered down and like bored by it. It was such a cool experience in school because I always hated classrooms because they were so boring. It's like you're sitting at a desk and everything's like beige and like blah. And I go into hair school, and on the desk they have bubbles and crayons and markers and smelly things and Play-Doh, all the things that we can play with and like occupy that like ADD thing that we all have. And it's like I don't get bored and stare off.
Well, the rest of us are sitting in school tapping our knees and we're like looking at the clock like, all right, time to go.
When they encouraged me to use bubbles during the classroom, I was like, this looks for me. This is what it is.
Bubbles. That's what we need. Bubbles.
I needed bubbles this whole time.
Was there ever a time that you thought, because I know Aveda is also big. Was there ever a time that you thought maybe I should go to Aveda instead of Paul Mitchell?
There was, and then there's also, so a lot of people don't know that you can also go to like a community college to do your school program. I chose not to do the community college because it was another year, and I was like, why would I waste another year of my life if I can't afford it? And
how long were you at Paul Mitchell?
I was at Paul Mitchell for a year. So I was like, why would I waste more time? Because time is money, and money is valuable, and your time is valuable. So I didn't want to do that because, like I said, I don't want to be in a desk for another however many years. So, like, I wanted to get right into it, and I chose Paul Mitchell because it was closer to home for me. Because Aveda's in Chapel Hill, and I knew I was gonna want to commute from my house. And there's just some fundamental differences in Paul Mitchell and Aveda. Aveda is great, and there's been some great stylists that I know and I'm friends with now and that I work with. But it just, their basics and where they teach you and where you start out is very different from Paul Mitchell. And I knew that I didn't, Aveda is very much in the line of like all natural and botanicals and all of that, and I was like, I love that, that's great, but not necessarily, I didn't feel like I could get the looks and the desired outcomes from that, if that makes sense. So, I mean, it's great for some people, but the basics that I wanted was not at Aveda.
So was there ever like, what about being a hairstylist called to you more than any other career? Like you were talking about how you just saw like the angles and math and stuff like that, but was there?
I think the reason that I thrived in high school was being social, and I was a cheerleader, and not necessarily because I was super active, but because I could go around and be social and talk to people and get to know people and uplift a crowd, and you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Those specifics that I loved in cheerleading kind of translated into hair, and that I knew that I could be up and active all day, but as well as like empower men and women and make them feel good. And I feel like a lot of people's self-esteem comes from the outside in as much as it should come from the inside out. A lot of it is what you see in the mirror and how you portray yourself every day and make yourself look good and feel good every day.
So you brought up your Instagram page at the beginning. Talk about your overall aesthetic, because I was stalking it yesterday and I absolutely love it because you have, what I love is your overall layout of it and the color that you use just like ties it all in. So talk about that real quick.
My Instagram is Sheer Happiness. It's a play on the word sheer and like scissors. I don't know how it came to me. It just did. I was like, oh, this is a really good idea. I'm going to pat myself on the back. So I made the Instagram right after, or either right after school or during the end of my schooling when I needed to have a platform for all of my work. And I quickly realized during hair school that Instagram is really the way, like people's portfolio in hair, and I mean just in general in life now. Like I feel like to be big in anything, you have to be big on social media now, which is something that I struggle with, believe it or not. Like I am very much a believer that you are way more of a person than what you put out as your social media presence. But with that being said, I get a lot of guests and clients from social media.
I think that it's such a huge difference between like personal and business, because I think business pages, you know, are so important and they thrive because they do put your work out there and they get people's attention. But then of course personal, it's like, okay, we're trying to be something that we're not. Yeah. And so like a lot of people use like the filters and everything, or try to like the Facetune. I like do none of that on my pictures. I'm like, what you see is what you get. This is, I'm not trying to be something I'm not.
Yeah, that's exactly what I am. And a lot of us in the hair world, we don't use any filters at all. If anything, I turn up the brightness. That's the most.
Absolutely.
Like, so I don't distract from what the hair actually is. But I also, another thing with my theme on Instagram, I worked really hard with my roommate, who also is big on social media and her whole marketing and all of that. She worked with me to help create this Instagram. But the whole reason behind the theme is green is my favorite color. And I don't know if you may not have ever been to my house or been to even my car or whatever. Even in my work life, everything is black, white, gray. Like it's like very minimalist, and it's very clean lines, and so I don't like to, I feel like there's a lot of clutter in my life, and so I like everything to be very clean, but like my Instagram can be like all this crazy
color
stuff
and everything,
and really portray who I am on the inside without like having to clutter my space and my mental.
I love that. And one of the things that I do love about your Instagram highlight stories is your education one. Because I think not only are you showing people like what you're learning, you're showing people what they can learn as well. Which I think is super cool, and I think it's one of those things like super easy to do.
There is so many times that I've heard from, let me start by saying that with the company that I work for, Salon Blue, all of our stylists, like when you come into the salon, it's based off of education. Like they want you to be the best stylist you can be and stay current with the times. And with that, you have to be educated and continue learning and like evolving. And so at least once a quarter, we have a class that is fully funded by the salon.
Very cool.
And so we'll have time to step outside of the salon and have different people and different like master designers and stuff from all over the world come and teach us new techniques. But I just lost where I was going with that. So I will always try to keep myself learning and try different techniques, but it also, like all of those teachers, they always say, to be the best stylist, you have to educate your guests in the salon.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if Haley has ever told you this, but like whenever I've done her hair and we've styled it, I'm like, Haley, if you want it to look like this, you can curl it this way, or you can brush it this way, or braid it however. And it's like they learn, and we have a better connection when I'm teaching them tips and tricks throughout their experience with me at the salon.
I think having a constant education, no matter what it is so important in life, because I think it betters you as a person as well. Because I mean, I love the whole point of this whole series is to learn from different people and different subjects and just keep educating no matter what it is.
And that's something I'm really passionate about, is keeping it going and not getting stuck in your old ways and your habits. Like everybody wants to be just kind of we all fall back into that rut where we're just going through life, living with emotions.
We're not tiptoeing. We're just muddling through life.
You're not really doing anything. You're just going through it. And
going through the motions. Thank you. Good grief. I was like trying to do that. I was sitting here. I was like, what is that
am I trying to say? It makes a big difference, and anything in life you can learn more from.
Absolutely. And I don't think you technically have to go to school.
You don't.
I think like I've learned so much just from having simple conversations with people. like whatever the topic may be. I'm not a huge political person, but just like I learn simple things from people, and I'm like, okay, I'm a little more educated.
Yep.
So you work at Salon Blue. How long have you been at Salon Blue?
I've been there for 4 years.
Wow.
It was 4 years in January, and it hit me, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
all of the people I went to school with just graduated, and I've been in my career for 4 years.
4 years.
So I'm like, I really did what I wanted to do.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad I'm still in there. I'm still in it.
Yeah.
Going strong.
I'm very much the same way with like, I so badly do not want to be behind a desk. And so it's a conversation I have all the time with my dad, because he's in his office all day. He's on conference calls. Yeah. I very much want to be out doing things, and whether it's holding a camera or editing or talking to people, like such a huge, like, I think it's important to know kind of what environment you want to work in.
And it's so easy, I feel like, to get distracted, especially now in these times with social media, to be kind of reserved and back, whether you're behind a desk or behind your phone or your computer screen. Like, it's so important, especially now, to have those social interactions.
Absolutely. So one thing I did notice, and I think last time I saw you, we talked about you travel. You have a Salon Blue tribe.
Yes.
And y'all go to Orlando, you've been to Vegas, like you go to some pretty cool places.
I do.
What do y'all do when you go on those trips?
A lot. I would say almost every trip that I've been on with my coworkers is for more education.
Right.
And just kind of getting out of our rut in the salon, and like expanding and growing our horizons, and going to new places and hearing new people even just speak. I mean, we get some fun playtime every now. Who doesn't want to go to Vegas and have fun? Or even Orlando.
Who goes to Vegas just to work?
Yeah. But 90% of the time, if I'm traveling with a coworker, it is for work and for education and learning new things.
How often do y'all go on these trips?
It depends. My last year, so 2019, I went 3 or 4 places.
Very cool.
That year, like once a quarter.
Yeah.
I try. This year I don't have any plans for work travels quite yet, but I'm sure it'll come around. I know.
I'm sure they'll pop up.
Oh yeah, I have my list of all the places that I have been and would love to go back to.
Yeah.
And would love to
what are some of those places?
Go to new places. So I've been to New York, I've been to Vegas, I've been to Orlando. I want to go to Miami. Because I know that there's some cool salons that don't necessarily have the same, aren't rooted in the same values and principles that I have learned, and so it's different. It's new. It's like a different experience with those people. But
Miami.
I'd also love to go to LA.
Oh my gosh,
there's some great stylists there. Like you can't be a bad stylist there
in LA. It's just like there's no bad makeup artist in LA either.
So I'd love to go there. I would love to go to Texas, and even there's some salons in Colorado that would be cool to learn from.
Cool.
There's a bunch of like Instagram people and influencers that are all over the world, and they travel wherever.
So when you go on these trips and you learn, is there like booths set up? Do you go from and they have different products? What does it look like?
So it depends on the type of event that it is. When we were in Vegas, it was Redken's Symposium was what they call it. It is like a 3 or 4 day event. The first night or day that they have, there's a big show. It's like a
very cool.
It's like almost like a fashion show mixed with a dance performance,
very
Cirque du
cool.
Soleil, all this crazy stuff.
Just sitting there amazing.
Yes, it's like there's so much happening. It's this big arena, and you're like, oh my gosh.
I don't know where to look.
Exactly. So that only happens every other year, so it's very different every time. But then there's also when I go to New York to the Redken Exchange is what they call it. They have a classroom set up, and so when you go, you register for a class that you want more education on, and
very cool.
a different area hair whatever, and you go for 4 days, and you are behind a desk, and you're learning, and you're taking notes.
Very cool. So each one's kind of different.
Each one is kind of different, and then it also depends on like the brands that you're going with.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. What is your favorite brand? I know we've kind of talked about this.
So in Salon Blue, specifically right now, we are a Redken elite salon, meaning that we only carry Redken and then their sister company Pureology.
Okay.
We actually just got new owners, like our two of the stylists that I work with every day. They our original owner wanted to sell and kind of step back and live her life with her kids and her husband. And she was like, I'm just ready for a change. And she didn't want to sell the salon to some random person that had no interest in keeping her dream and vision alive. So she sold the salon to two beautiful, amazing women that I work with every day and beside every day. So right now we are all Redken. Since they've done the switchover, we've kind of been trying out different product lines and colors and stuff like that. So who knows? There's all kinds of brands that have great products. I've tried Amika, I've tried L'Oreal, I've tried a bunch of them. But basically anything in Sephora and Ulta that you can try, I have tried. So right now, Redken is my favorite because that's what I know.
This is kind of like a fun question that I'm curious about. What is there a hair trend that from the past that you are seeing making a comeback and you wish it would not? Is it the mullet?
It is the mullet. It's the mullet, but honestly, this sounds horrible, and I say this very, very lightly, because the old mullet is just not as go, but like the new, like trendy kind of like bangs and like really long and like shaggy almost is very on trend right now. I actually got my haircut yesterday.
I was just gonna ask you what the trend is right now.
So shags and kind of like, if you're real bold, kind of like a really short fringe that's really piecey and textured, and then kind of framing the face and having that length in the back. And
but you wish the mullet would not come back.
I don't. I wish we could maybe call it something else, because I feel like mullet has such a negative connotation.
Everybody thinks of Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yes.
That's what we all see as the mullet. I think of Morgan Wallen when he, like the country singer, he used to have like the mullet, but he had the sides shaved, and I'm like, every girl was like, that's sexy, and I'm like, that's not sexy at all.
No.
Please do not make a comeback as sexy. As where you are right now, what do you want to do in the future? Where do you see yourself in the future?
It's funny you ask me that, because earlier this week, I was telling my roommate, I think I was just having a rough day, and I was blow drying some hair, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. And I was like contemplating my life, and I was like, is this where I want to be? Is this what I want to do? And I think we all go through that. And
absolutely.
We're like, have this little freak out every once in a while.
I have one at least once a week. At least once.
But another thing that's so great, especially about the salon that I work for, is that about every 2 months we do we're kind of partnered with a mentor that we meet with, and we go over like our sales reports for the past couple months, and we kind of regroup and refocus. And I think that's why we were doing it every month, and we switched to every 2 months. And I got a new mentor, and I think
very cool.
I haven't met with her yet. I'll meet with her next Monday, I think. So I think I just was yearning for that like validation and like where am I going with my next couple months, and like what are my goals.
All of us need that validation in life, where we're like, okay, you actually are doing something good in life. It's like, thank you social media for that part as well,
for sure,
because that is all coming from social media.
But I think my goal and where I want to go is really to grow my business still. Like obviously I've been doing that for 4 years, but like I really want to like hunker down and like
and really
and really put all my time and effort in it, especially focusing on social media, because with our new owners, they realize how big of an impact social media has, and they want Salon Blue to have that influence right now, especially
cool.
in Raleigh. We want to be the ultimate, like, premier hair salon
Absolutely.
in Raleigh. And I think a lot of people do know that, but, like, there's a lot of people that still don't know.
Absolutely. Has it ever crossed your mind, like, hey, down the road, maybe I want to open my own salon, or do you want to just keep working in the environment that you're in?
See, I have thought about it. As of right now, it's a lot of work, and I think I see that even more because I do work with our new owners.
Yeah.
I see how much they put in and what they're doing all day, every day, and I'm so lucky to be surrounded by a team and, like, have a front desk support staff that, like, when I'm not in the salon and anyone wants to make an appointment with me, they can call in and the front desk can book their appointments even when I'm away.
That's fantastic.
And so when I go into work, I'm working hard, I'm getting my shit done.
Yeah.
But when I go home, I'm clocked out, I'm done. Yeah. And I love that I can, at least right now in my life, I love that I can wipe my hands clean and then go off to dinner, go out on a date, and or do whatever. Yeah. And I don't have to worry about that afterwards.
That is kind of like a cool part of your job. Yes. Like, you literally, you're not bringing your work home with you.
I don't. And sometimes I'm like, dang it, I wish I could just work from home today.
Yeah. You're like, oh, wait, that doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. So right now I'm enjoying the phase that I'm in, that I can just walk away and be done when I clock out at the end of my day. But maybe one day we'll see what happens. Yeah. I feel like I just, like, that being a stylist fell in my lap, and maybe one day having my own salon will fall in my lap too.
Do you, like, you were just talking about it, but do you get to see kind of, like, behind the scenes of the operations, like what it does, like, take to run a business?
Oh, yeah. They're so inspiring to me. Their names are Tara and Sarah, and
that's perfect.
I know, they really, the era of Tara and Sarah is what we like to call it. It was like, they just fit so perfectly, and, like, they're such good mentors and owners, and I do look up to them because not only are they great stylists, like, they've been there 10 plus years.
Oh, wow.
And they took on 3 salons, not just one, but all 3 locations. And so I see how hard it is. I see how much they put into it. It's a lot.
Absolutely.
It's like they do their client, and then they have 15 minutes between when they can eat their lunch before their next one, and then they have to make calls because the ceiling is leaking. And it's like their day does not stop when they call out or when they leave the salon. They're always doing something new.
I think it's so, like, it's crazy to see difference. Like, my mom owned her gym, seeing everything behind the scenes of everything she had to do and what it took to go into that compared to, like, corporate America job that my dad has, and that I'm going through puberty again today. And he's behind the desk, he's on conference calls, he's not necessarily running like, he's running a business, but he's not running a business. So I think it's important for everybody to, like, be able to see that, because not a lot of it. Everybody's like, oh, I'm just gonna open mine.
I know. I think people are so naive to the fact that it takes a lot of work and a lot of time and money, and there's a lot to do.
Oh my gosh.
I'm definitely not naive to that. And I'm like, I know right now I'm not ready for that commitment.
I tell everybody, like, when I was at State, they have an awesome entrepreneurship program. So anybody who ever came to me and was like, I want to own my own business, I was like, have you taken an entrepreneurship class? And they're like, no. And I'm like, you need to take it, because it's so important to understand, like, how to run a business. And I think people go into it so blindly, and that's when everybody's like, oh, more than half of businesses close after a year. And I'm like,
you got to know the basics, and I think it is important to surround yourself with those mentors and people that want to see you succeed, and not that aren't secretly hoping that you fail. And, like, there's so much, like, I feel like this is going full circle, but there's so much to learn from everyone that you meet, and it's so important to surround yourself with people that can help you out.
Absolutely.
Even if you aren't as educated on those topics.
Yes.
Like you can learn those things without taking a sit down class, but you gotta be able to take whatever life throws at you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you saying don't be naive. I'm like, just don't be stupid. Please just don't be stupid about it. And that's just what I say all the time. To end this is how I like to end this for 2020. We're close to the start of the new year.
Yeah.
What are your goals for 2020? Is there something that you want to accomplish this year?
Yeah. So at the end of my 2019, I had like a meeting with both of the owners, and they kind of asked me the same question, and I was kind of caught off guard. I was like, well, I knew this question was coming, but why didn't I have an answer for it?
We're never prepared.
I enjoy, in the salon, I enjoy teaching the younger stylists that come in, and sharing the knowledge that I get from other places, like, because they may not have the funds, and they may not be able to get out of the salon to go to those places that I've been. So I like to grow and expand and share that knowledge with them. I've kind of stepped away from it because I'm trying to build my business. We, at the salon, we're like a level-based salon, so every level, it goes up by prices and your experience and stuff like that. So my main goal for 2020 is to get that level jump, get that raise, and then revert back to teaching and sharing my knowledge. Like I haven't been able to teach as much because I've been so hunkered down on like, I want to get to this point, I want my raise, I want to do these things.
Just a little bit more money.
Money.
Yes.
But that's my goal in 2020, is to get that raise, but be able to come back and expand and share my knowledge.
That's awesome.
Do that.
Yes. Is there anything in like your personal life outside of work that you want to accomplish?
The dating world is just crazy. I'll say that. I don't know. My roommate and I have made a pact that we want to go out at least every other week and try a new restaurant or go to different places and meet new people. We would love to be dating people, but we're not, and we don't really want to meet people we don't want to do the
online dating.
It's
a scary world.
It sucks.
It does
hard, and we feel like meeting people organically is going to be the best bet. So that was our goal for at least the first 6 months of the year, is to get out and at least get new experiences within our city.
So. We live in a great city too, which is, it's like so many things to do. Like Raleigh has so many things to do that you can be never bored.
Oh no,
never in the city of Raleigh. All right, you guys. So thank you very much for being the second guest this week.
Of course.
All of Caroline's information is going to be linked down below. You can go stalk her Instagram, follow her, and go to Salon Blue at Falls Village. And Caroline is going to get you taken care of.
Absolutely.
Every single time. I can guarantee you that. But thank you guys for stopping by for the second episode of the Conversation series. And I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.